You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Forgot to put the people in. Welcome back, LSFL family, to the Shark Tank.
Oh, let's go to this freaking week. Big time.
Ooh.
Big.
It's the final countdown, if you will. This is it, the final week of the regular season. Well, let's begin with the introductions real quick. We got a lot to talk about. We got toilet bowls on the line. We got home field advantage on the line. We got to congratulate some division winners. Let's get it started. Welcome to the studio, the commish himself, Fred Reyes. Welcome to the studio, my friend.
Yo, this is exciting. One of the best league years ever. The parity was crazy. Nobody dominated. Nobody.
Absolutely. It's to your point. We still don't have a home field, a crowned champion yet. So going down to the final week in both conferences. So pretty exciting, quite frankly, indeed. All right, well, let's get it started. Let's talk about what the week that was anyway. All right, well, of course, got to start with those Sharks, 115.8 to the Goats, 96.7. El Dorado's a much-needed win, 116 over the Rattlers, 75.5. Grimace, 107.1, continuing that hot streak over the Bucks, 98.2. Ooh, the game of the week, Bomber, one of the games of the week, the Bombers. Ooh, really put the Jesters in a hole here. 111.3 to 104.4. Just real quick, your reaction from last week.
Dude, he called me and he said, I know we're not doing this again. I said, listen, man, at 10 points and I win by Herbert. He wasn't even the guy who got the ball in the game. It was the rookie. I was like, what is going on here, man? I made a mistake and left Cooks out and he's been hot. That's what I get.
Oh, God, that's got to be soul crushing. The Predators in another big game of the week get a big one over the Dragons, 106 to 97.8. Got to keep pace with those Bombers right now for home field. Speaking of home field, and look at this one. I had to put this one last because out of nowhere, the Jets, here they come. Dropped a 128-pound bomb. And it was a massacre for Boston, 94.6. I mean, really. I mean, listen, this is one of those, God, if you don't have any luck at all, how can you go against the team that's won 2 games all season long, and they are team of the week? Unbelievable. Oh, there's our guy, indeed, our celeb in training, Eric. Pulls off the big one. Wow, it was J-Lo too, looking kind of nice there. Gotta love it. All right, well, let's transition right into it. This is a perfect transition. Congratulations, Eric. Big team of the week for you. And you really put a big thorn in the side of the Massacre trying to make a playoff bid here. Thought he might have had an easy week. Unfortunately, got a big bomb dropped on him. Speaking of bombs, however, let's go right into that toilet bowl. So that made Eric 3-9. The Rattlers' loss also makes them now 3-9. Now, the thing about it is, if both teams, of course, win or lose, because of the tiebreaker, the Rattlers beat the Jets earlier this season, that would make the Jets the de facto toilet bowl winner. Now, if the Rattlers, of course, lose and the Jets win, then the Miami Rattlers will be your 2023 toilet bowl champions. I mean,
holy smokes!
Oh God, I hope not. I just one thing, I hope not. But
and who do the Rattlers play?
Well, we'll get into that in a minute. This is a lot. Yes, interesting. You brought that up. Now, Speaking of the toilet bowl, we had one other guy that unfortunately was set off on the LSFL elimination cruise. Let's introduce our new captain, Mark Kirk, onto the scene. Our new captain, he's unfortunately gone. They are now cruising the elimination seas. Some answers into next season.
Oh man,
Congratulations,
I
guys.
never thought I would see. I'm used to seeing Jose there, but I never thought I'd see Eric and Mark in the same boat this early.
Mark look like George Washington.
Oh man,
Mark Kirk on the face of the dollar. All right, let's give us some congratulations. We poked fun enough. Let's give some congrats out, some kudos. We'll start in the AFC, the West, the Dallas Grimace.
wow.
12th division title. That is a record, as you know, in the LSFL, continuing to dominate the AFC West. Dallas Grimace, congratulations. Excuse me.
Nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, what a season for the Grimace, too. Just like, he's doing nothing. We were laughing at him. And now who's laughing now? He says, I'm right here. This is the 12th division title.
He did say you're going to see the greatest comeback ever.
He called it. And he's here. He called his shot, although I'm sure he calls it every year, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the NFC. Also out of nowhere, he kind of had almost a mirror type season where he was not doing well in the beginning. And we all were like, saying, well, when he bombs at the end, he's not starting out well. Well, he said, fuck all that. This year, I'm going to do the exact opposite. Kind of dipped out in the beginning, but came right back up. He is his 4th division title and he is now the king of the North for 2023. Congratulations, Mike. And on the NFC East side, the Pennsylvania Predators, they have pulled off their 5th division title. I know it's got to feel good for Nick in a season full of fun indeed. All right, well, let's look at the standings. We'll start with the AFC because the picture is somewhat clear. So let's look at what we got here. We got the Sharks and the Grimace, both division winners. Everyone who can be in is already slated. Everyone who's out is out. So that's pretty all well and good. And we'll get to that playoff picture in a sec. Let's look at let's just we'll go right into the AFC playoff picture. That would just make more sense.
Yeah, let's just do it.
So let's go into the AFC playoff picture as it stands. So right now, the playing game is set. No matter what, you're going to see the Eldorados and the Bucks. So that's the play-in game, the AFC playing game for 2023 in Week 14.
Okay,
Mark it down. Now, the only question really at this point is who will be number 1 seed. So if the Bucks could have pulled it off last week, I'd been sitting pretty. I could have sat my starters. We could have been chilling all the way to Week 16. Unfortunately, we're back into the battlefield. Got to beat those Rattlers to get that number 1 seed. Now, if I win, I am the number 1 seed. If I lose and the Grimace win, they will be the number 1 seed. I will be in the Week 15 wild card, and basically we'll just flip-flop. If we both lose, I will still be the number 1 seed at that point. So, because I still have the game up on him. All right, so let's go to the NFC side. All right, so we got the Bombers again. He's won the NFC North. The Predators have won. But there are some questions right now. The Jesters, you could go all the way from where you are now. Well, let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's go into the playoff picture. See what it looks like. Not like the AFC where we have our teams already set. And NFC is a little bit different. So the play-in game as it currently stands, we got the Dragons.
Another division matchup? Oh, my
division
God.
matchup right off the jump in week 14. Then as it stands, in Week 15, the wild card would be against the Bombers. And then the Predators are the number 1 seed. Now, let's get into it. You need to win to get in or a Dragons loss. So that's basically where you're at, because if there is a chance you could be completely out of
You
the
believe
playoffs.
that craziness at 7-6 to be out the playoffs?
Out of the playoffs. There's a chance. There's just a chance. Now the Dragons need either to win, need to beat their competition this week, or they need a massacre loss to get in. So if the massacre lose, the Dragons are automatically in. So that's the one. Oh, actually, and the same for you, Fred. I don't think I wrote that down. So the massacre lose, then there's no question you're already.
But I'm playing them, so yeah, it makes sense.
The massacre need to win to get in. Period. So basically, they'll have to win against the Jesters, and that basically will de facto add them into the playoffs. Crazy enough, all the way down to this week. The Predators can get the number 1 seed with a win or a Bombers loss. So either way, he'll get number 1 seed, or the Bombers can get number 1 seed with a win and a Predators loss. Neither Bombers nor Predators can fall to the playing game even if they lose. Either one of them lose this week, they're good. They're both either going to be 1 or 2. So that's already locked in. The 3 and 4 seed right now is up between 3 teams. Let's get your reaction real quick. How do you feel about almost being out of the playoffs?
It's very concerning. Me and Greg were talking about this, the Dragons, a couple of days ago, that in this division, the NFC Conference, somebody possibly with a 7-6 record above 500 is not going to make the playoffs. So it's concerning. And especially, we'll talk about the schedule this week, but that's truly concerning that somebody will not make it in.
Indeed. I mean, I'd be concerned too. Let's take a look at those final Week 12 power rankings. Well, finally, I ascended to the top of the power rankings, only for 1 week, but fuck it, I'll take it. 8-4 with the second most points in the league, so I'm good with it. Bombers right behind me at number 3 point scorer in the league, and also with the 8-4 record. Predators not too far behind, 8-4. As well. Dragons dropping with their loss, still got most points scored in the league. You stayed right where you were. Grimace came up a little more with his win. Also, El Dorado has come up a little bit this week. We know the Massacre. We're gonna drop a little bit with his loss, and the same with the Bucks. And pretty much the Goats, Rattlers, Jets stayed exactly kind of where they're supposed to be. All right, well, that's a look at all of that. That was all that is and was, and here it is. But let's talk about the final week, Week 13.
Oof.
The finish line is here. Let's go 8-4 Sharks, 3-9 Rattlers. The Sharks lead that series 29-11. Sharks won back in Week 10, 94 versus 90.2. It was actually a close game. Sharks 4-1 in the last 5 matchups. Sharks again favored by 4. Fred, what do you say? Who do you like in the matchup?
I mean, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I really don't, and it sounds sad. I know Jose's going to be sad again, but I don't have any faith in him right now. I think he's just about done for. He's going to turn it in, and maybe he likes winning the toilet bowl. I don't know, because he has plenty of opportunities this year to try to not win it. And I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he concentrates so hard at the draft. I mean, he really does. Maybe this comes to next year. I got you, buddy.
Listen, Jose, take the advice of a good friend and just take a knee, bro. Take a knee. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Observation-wise, he has no buys this week. You know that, right?
I know. I'm actually in trouble this week in this matchup.
Brown. He actually has a good team.
He's got good matchups. I don't have good matchups. I'm in trouble. I had to scrape and claw to get that 92.6 projection.
No Barkley, no Kincaid.
No Barkley. Yeah, no James Cook. So I don't know. I'm still up in the air. It could be either A.J. Dillon or Jeff Wilson Jr. in the mix. So I'm not quite positive what I'm going to do there yet. We'll see. Debating on that one, but other than that, I think my lineup's pretty set. I'm still solid in that. I made that trade for that Jets defense just for this week, my friend. So let's see if that plays out. All right, let's go on to the next. And again, speaking of this matchup, again, if I win, I am in number 1 seed. if I lose, gotta hope the Grimace lose, and we'll talk about that in a sec. Here's a matchup which kind of the same implications and the same type of setup. 8-4, 3-9, same deal. Jets lead this series 12-6. Predators won back in week 8, 99.9 to 77.3. Predators 3-2 in the last 5. Predators are favored by 8. Who do you like in this one?
It's gonna be funny, but I'm going with the Jets. Jets got healthy too late. They got Murray. They got McCaffrey. Madison played a good game yesterday. Amon St. Brown, McBride.
Madison's on a bye though, so
yeah, Madison's on a bye, but they got the McBride Murray combo. I mean, he still got Rashee Rice on the bench. He hasn't put him in yet. So where on the other side, Predators just today find out that Jonathan Taylor will possibly be out for at least 3 weeks, and that hurts because once he came back, he started winning. He has Lamar Jackson on the bench. McLaurin right now he has on the bench. I mean, I'm going with the Jets this week. I don't think it really matters for the Predators, but I'm definitely going to pick the Jets.
All right.
I think that Lamar Taylor thing hurts a little bit.
All right. I'm going to go Predators. Even though that does hurt, I just, you talk about not, and no offense to Eric, but this year, no faith in this team. At all, quite frankly. So yeah, and then we got McCaffrey going against one of the best run defenses in the league. So just throwing that out there. All right, let's go to the next one. Now we're getting the games that really matter for the playoff picture. Not that those didn't.
I'm looking at the Predators. I really feel bad. No Mark Andrews, no Lamar Jackson, no Jonathan Taylor.
I still feel he pulls it out.
Really? Damn, Jeff.
I still think he's gonna get it. All right, let's go. Goats.
Let's go.
Goats and the Bucks. Goats lead the series 11-10. Bucks won back in week 9, 102 to 64.4. Bucks 3-2 in the last 5 matchups. Bucks are favored by 5. Who do you like in this one?
I mean, we got to go with the Bucks, right? I mean, they're playing for something. They have Prescott's been hot. Henry scored this week. Keenan Allen's back. I think a chain is playing. When he was hot, and Metcalf. Where I know Devontae Adams on the side, so it's not really bad. And then on the GOAT side, I mean, he has a decent lineup. It just haven't been performing like they usually. Like Cup hasn't been the Cup of old. Stevenson is so up and down. I mean, Addison's off. So this week I'm gonna take the Bucks because he just needs it more.
Yeah, I just, again, this is I apologize because this game actually doesn't mean really anything in a playoff race. Bucks are set in no matter what. Unfortunately, Mark's conference record is 1-5. And the Bucks sitting at 3-3. So this game pretty much is meaningless. If he loses or wins, he's in the playing game no matter what.
Right.
Looking at the matchups in this one, however, again, Brock Purdy against Philly. I talked about their run D, but that pass D is kind of suspect. With Debo, that could be an okay day for Purdy. He only saw the end zone once last week. Now, Bijan might have some issues against those Jets. That's why I got him.
Yes, sir.
Got Ramondre against the Chargers, though, so that could be a good matchup indeed. Again, looking at the Bucks, Dak Prescott's been hot. Seahawks D not. Derrick Henry got a good matchup against the Colts. Again, A-Chain's up in the air. That's why I said I don't know if I might give Jeff Wilson a go. If A-Chain doesn't go, I'm going to throw in Jeff Wilson. I mean, it just makes sense. Again, so again, I'm going to look for the Bucks. I think again in this one just to kind of close out the season on a.
So let me ask you a question: if the Bucks go to 5-8 and the GOAT go to 5-8, they still can't catch them?
Correct. That's why I mentioned earlier.
The 1-5,
right? The 1-5 and the 3-3. It's a 2-game difference. Unfortunately,
this is why you got to play the whole season, bud.
Wouldn't even matter. So, all right, here's where things get a little bit interesting. All right, as I mentioned, the Dallas Grimace need to win to get the number 1 seed. But they're facing those pesky El Dorados. Not too shabby this season. The El Dorados lead the series 7-4. Grimace won last year 100-90, basically. Grimace are 3-2 in the last 5. Grimace are favored by 3. What do you say? Who do you like in the matchup?
I'm looking at their two teams, and this, you know, oh man, no more for him. No Hawkinson. I'm gonna go with the Grimace. I think the Grimace keep it going for one more week. He has Gibbs, Eckler, and Howell, which always produce for him. Ayuk. I mean, you can you can always put in Aaron Jones. I think he comes back this week for Zay Flowers, where I think the Eldorados have a little bit of a tougher time this week because of their matchups.
I have to say, if I was, Grimace are lucky that we are that Kincaid's on a bye this week because I might dial up Fort Pierce and throw him a trade this week, give him a tight end if he needed it. Fortunately, I don't have one to give. But I'm looking at the, well, he's got Isaiah Likely. Unfortunately, he's on a bye as well this week.
That's the problem. There's a lot of big buys this week, and I'm surprised the NFL did it so late in the season.
He's gonna have to place, and again, he's replacing DJ Moore with Hollywood Brown. That's not a huge loss, I would say. Puka Nacua is gonna have a tough matchup against Cleveland. We know how tough that defense is.
Or Harris. It can't be both. He has to pick one of them.
But you gotta love Tua, of course, and the Dolphins D I like as well. Grimace on the other side, same time is going to struggle against this Miami's D. Got some newfound Austin Eckler, I think, might struggle as well. I think Patriots run D's been okay, at least the only thing salvation they've had. We know Saints are okay as well. Chiefs D's, I like what the Eldorados are bringing. Maybe this is just me saying it out loud because I want it to happen. But I'm going LD in this one. All right, let's go to some ones that really start to matter here. The Bombers versus the Dragons. Bombers lead the series 17-15. They won back in week 10, 124.3 to 93.1. Bombers are 3-2 in the last 5 matchups, and Bombers are favored by 4. Who you like in this one?
So I talked to Greg, and he was super confident that his lineup will be better than Mike's this week. Because he has Mahomes, ETN, Swift playing, Nico Collins. But he's going to have to scrape the barrel for a tight end. Mm-hmm. There's no Gabe Davis, no Justin Jefferson again. But Mike's ain't got problems because the people that he beat me with are all on buys. No Edwards, no Jacobs.
And Zach Moss just became a good, and with a good matchup this week as well. Tennessee awful against the run.
Don't get me wrong. I'm pulling for Mike. I really am pulling for Mike. The less work I got to do, the better. But let's go, Mike. I need
you. Yeah. Again, looking at the matchups, tougher matchups. I think more on the Dragon side. Quite frankly, I do like Nico Collins against Denver. That's a good one. Don't know about Demario Douglas yet because of the concussion protocol that he's in. Dallas's D against Geno Smith. Maybe depends on when Geno Smith shows up. And you look at, again, the Bomber side, everything looks good. I would not recommend T. Higgins, however. They're talking about he might not be playing this week, just to give you a little heads up there. All right, let's go into the last NFC matchup. Ooh,
this is a shit show.
Wow, I had to put this as the last. I mean, not only because you're here, but the series is tied 4-4. This is definitely game. If there was a game of the week and you're coming down to it, this is it. Series tied 4-4. Massacre won the last year, 105-60. Jesus, 105-60. What? He whooped that ass last year.
Yeah, he got
3-2 in the last 5 matchups. Got you favored by 3. What do you say?
This is a tough one because the bye is wrecking our two teams, to be honest with you. I have no Josh Allen, which is big in itself. So I definitely have to, and I'm not going to start Herbert. He's out, obviously. So I have to find a quarterback. I don't know what I'm going to do. On his end, he's starting all backups too. He got Ford, who hasn't been playing that good. He has Kirk. Yeah, he don't have Diggs. He don't have Kenneth Walker. You're not gonna start Ezekiel. We're just in a shit show this week, so that's why I'm hoping Mike can help me get in the playoffs. This is sad.
This is gonna be tough.
Like I can't even start the San Francisco defense versus Philly. I gotta figure that out too.
Oh, you are in trouble. You are in trouble.
And look, he started. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. This is tough. This is tough. This is tough.
You are in trouble, my friend. All right. Well, wow. All righty. Well, all right. Well, I'll just say we'll just save that for what it is. Going to be tough matchup. It's going to be a big week this week in the LSFL. So good luck to everyone. It's the final countdown.
It's the final countdown.
It's week 13. Good luck. And again, the playoff scenarios are all set up on the lsfl.com. So if you didn't get all the gibberish, it's right there. Lots of different ways for you to get in. Good luck for those that are out. Good luck to next season. And we are out.